On this rather grey winter's day, I look up and I see flushes of crimson pink. These are the late bloomers of the pink flowering gum tree. And I thank the tree for encouraging me to look up and look at the sky. Meanwhile, the young magpies enjoy a feast. Worms are on the menu today. And at the feet of the gentle giants, I spot mushrooms. Whenever I see them, I think of the good folk, and so I go looking for them. Are they hiding in here or in there? When we slow down, nature can become a delightful playground. There is so much to experience and learn. Where is your favourite playground in nature, Wonder Weavers? I'd love you to share with me in the comments below. I've just returned from my morning walk, Wonder Weavers, and I've returned home really grateful for the practice. I was watching the swallow this morning. I call them the magicians of the sky. I think they're so enchanting. They immediately bring me into the present, and I just love watching them circle the parkland. It's really magical. So I'm curious, Wonder Weavers, do you have a favourite bird that you love watching too? In the meanwhile, I've been making mini pies. I'm really enjoying making these little items. They're giving me a chance to ponder any other changes that I want to make to the kitchen before I install all of the furniture, and I'm looking forward to sharing or revealing the new kitchen once it's done. We're very, very close. Before we leap into this week's creative adventure, I thought I would just mention that my latest newsletter is out on Substack. In this newsletter, I share some things that I hope will light you up. I encourage you to play with flowers, and I also share some of the other things that I've been making. Alright, Wonder Weavers, let's make mini pies. Miss Cordelia is in the kitchen, ready to bake pies. I think she might need some help. I begin my mini pie making session by conditioning polymer clay. The first pie I'm going to attempt to make is a black cherry pie. This cherry pie is inspired by English Heritage's fantastic video on how to make a cherry pie the Victorian way. Mrs. Crocombe is a fantastic teacher, and there are many other videos to help inspire your imagination if you're interested in Victorian cooking. You will find a link to the video in the description below. I start by making the sweet short crust. After moulding a small amount of clay into an oval shape, I take my trusty hairpin and press it into the side of the shape, creating a series of vertical lines. Next, I flatten a small ball of clay and add this to the top of the mini pie. With my hobby knife, I cut the excess away. I then conjoin the two pieces together with the top of my hairpin. To give the impression that the mini pie's been baked, I apply layers of yellow pastel to the clay. For variation and interest, I add a little bit of light brown pastel. At the end of English Heritage's video, the cook Mrs. Crocombe decorates the pie with medallions and cherries. I really like the idea and I'm going to try and make something similar. I start by making the medallions. I first make their stand by wrapping a small rectangular piece of alfoil around the tapered end of my embossing tool. Once I remove the alfoil, I roll it in between my fingers. I make 3 of these in total, and then with my embossing tool, I create 3 holes along the central axis of the pie, and then place a stand in each one. Next, I have fun making black cherries by rolling tiny balls of white clay in pastel and purple mica. The pastel colours I'm using are magenta and black. I then position the berries in between the stands. I bake the pie for a few minutes in a low oven, and then, once it has cooled, I make the medallions. Using my hole punch, I punch several holes from a sheet of foil. This sheet is actually from a foil tray. The foil curls a little bit, but you can flatten it out. I then glue the foil discs to the stands. And there you go. We've made a Victorian style cherry pie. This time I'm going to make a savoury pie. In my reading this week, I discovered just how important the pie has been throughout history. For example, during the medieval period, the pie was often the centrepiece or focus of a banquet or feast. In Victorian times, decorative moulds were often used when making pies. So inspired by these ideas, I thought I might try and make a more decorative looking pie. And to achieve this, I thought I might try and use a bottle top to help me make some interesting markings. I press a small ball of clay into the bottle top and then carefully remove it. I flatten and smooth the top of the clay disc, and then with my hairpin I deepen the depressions on its side. I then condition, flatten and roll a second small ball of clay. I mold it with my fingers, creating roughly a conical shape. Before I add this piece to the other one, I take a stamp and decorate it. This is just a leaf stamp, and as you can see it's quite small and I'm just using the very end of it. I add the piece to the other one and then create a hole in the center of the top of the pie. I can join the two pieces of clay together with the help of my trusty hairpin. I roll a snake and then wrap a tiny piece around my embossing tool, creating a cylindrical shape. I use the same tool to conjoin the cylindrical clay piece to the top of the pie. I then dust the mini pie with yellow and brown pastel. Once the pie is completely covered, I bake it in the oven. Now it's time to bake the pies. Let's add some icing sugar to your minced pies, Cordelia. The pies are ready. You've done a fabulous job, Cordelia. Thank you for watching, Wonder Weavers. I hope that you have a peaceful and restful weekend. Until the next time, take care, stay well, and don't forget to play. Adios. Ciao. Where are we going to serve dinner, Cordelia? In the parlour?